Yeah, caught about 5 or 6 rats, and then January 2nd, we came home after taking my brother out on the golf carts. Um, he was visiting in town from Chicago. So we get home. Nope, wrong. I lied. I'm off. It was a while ago. Forgive me. Um, I got home from training at like 10, and it was just one of those days that Karima didn't feel like making dinner or whatever. So she hadn't eaten yet. It was still Christmas break because of the weekend, whatever overlap with Christmas break. Um, so it was 10 o'clock at night. Karima was hungry. So we decided to go get some food. Um, we actually, Karima just wanted to get out of the house and we needed to get dinner. So we decided to drive. We ended up in Tampa, ended up getting food in Tampa. We are gonna stop at the Causeway, but because of um, New Year's, they had the Causeway all blocked off. I don't know if they normally do that, but maybe because of the cleanup for New Year's, I don't know. But it was all blocked off, so we ended up having to drive home with our food, which stunk, but whatever. So I get home, we walk in, and I just apparently the rats decided to celebrate the day after New Year's. They wanted to hunker down because they were afraid of New Year's and all the fireworks, so they saved their celebration for the second. I don't know, but I hear just going on up in the attic, and I'm like, they're having a party, they're fighting, somebody's pregnant. I don't know what's going on. So I pop my head up in the attic just because I've never heard this amount of noise before, and I just see this huge tail, and I see the back of this rat, and I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna just grab it. I've never seen one before, like up in the attic when I pop my head up to set the traps or whatever, which was really weird. But I'm not gonna grab it. I'm not gonna chase it. I'm not gonna shoot it. So there's nothing I can really do but just leave it. So I leave it. I go back downstairs. I eat my food. Um, by the time we get done with food, so we probably got home around 12, 12:30. So by the time I get done with my food, it's like 1 or 1:30 or so, something like that. My timeline's all messed up. Again, this is a while ago. So we get done eating, the noise is still just going on, and I'm just like, good grief. Like, we watched a movie, that's why it took so long as well. Um, so the noise is still going on, just every, constantly. So I pop my head back up and I look at my trap and I realize the trap is not there. And then that rat's still in that same area, like above the room, and it's like 6, 7, 8 feet in front of me. Same area I saw it before, and I realize the trap is on the rat's head. So now I go back down and I talk to Karima, and I'm like, the trap didn't kill the rat, but he's still got the trap stuck on his head. Is he gonna suffocate? Is he gonna starve? There's no way I'm gonna leave this rat up there all night, him making all this noise. I gotta go up there and I gotta get him. So I take a mop bucket, I take the head off the mop, I'm gonna scoop him into the bucket. So I'm scooping him into the bucket, and he ends up flipped over to where this is the trap and this is his little head. His head gets stuck on the rafter with the trap on top of him, so I think to myself, I'll take this mop stick and I'll pin his head to the rafter to try and suffocate him. So he freaks out and jumps and squeaks real loud, and Karima's downstairs looking up in the attic just like waiting to hear for chaos to ensue so she can shut the attic and close me in there with him. But Um, he squeaks and jumps and freaks out, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, my bad. So I get to scooping him in the bucket again, finally get him downstairs. I don't have a shovel. I'm obviously not going to set him free. I'm obviously not going to, how am I going to kill this rat? So the only thing that we could think of was to drown him. So I take him to the bathtub, and I start filling this mop bucket up with water from the bathtub, and he's on top of the trap. The trap is here, this head, he's floating on top of the water. So now I have to actively drown him. So I take the stick and I push the trap to the bottom of the bucket. Kareem is standing there right behind me for all this, looking over keeping as much distance as she can, but watching. And so I push the trap down to the bottom of the bucket underwater, and he frees his head. Pandemonium ensues. He starts swimming around the bucket. I'm screaming at Karima, give me a lid, give me a lid, give me a lid, please. So Karima shuts the door immediately and traps me in there with the rat. Thank you, Karima. Love you too. I don't blame you. We got to keep it contained, right? So he ends up just swimming around in the bucket and then just swimming to a little high spot that he can stand on the back of the mop, underneath the spinny thing to drain the water from the mop. But so Karima finally gets me a lid. She takes it off one of the Christmas container buckets, and I put it on top. I'm holding it down. We got to find another bucket. So Karima ends up having an empty, this huge Christmas container bucket, because we got to drown him in that. So I end up I scoot the mop bucket back, I put the Christmas container bucket in there, I fill it up a little bit with water, and I go to flip the mop bucket over, and the rat grabs onto the handle. And it was only about 5 or 6 seconds. No, I'd say like 2 or 3. But me and Karima's life flashed before our eyes, where this rat was holding onto the handle with the bucket upside down, like, is he going to jump off of it? So I start shaking the bucket, and finally he falls off into the water. We put the lid on. I put the mop bucket on top of the lid to weigh it down. He swims around for a few minutes, and finally, it's all over. I left him in there overnight. It was 3 in the morning at this point. So yes, the last of the Mohicans, the head honcho, the final boss, whatever you want to call him, this rat fought till the very end, not only for himself, but his rat kind. They didn't go out peacefully. So finally, we were done with the rats. It's been since January 2nd now. Let's see. What is the date? Gosh, I'm so bad with time. It's February 6th. We haven't heard anything from the rats since. Thank God. I prayed the rats would be over with. What a chapter in our lives. Sorry if that was gruesome for you. If I had a shovel, that would have been a lot easier. Gave him the chop, but I didn't have any of that, so that's what we were left with. There you go. Rat season is over.